Lebanon City Council. We'll have roll call, invocation, and pledge of allegiance.
Kearney. Here. Suter.
Here.
Crabtree.
Here.
White.
Here.
Mather. Here. Fillmore.
Here.
Jordan.
Here.
Wheeler.
Here.
Mayor Anderson.
Here.
Let's bow our heads for a word of prayer. Our most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, as we come to you tonight, we are so thankful for a beautiful day that you've bestowed upon our community, and Father, for all the many blessings that you've given to us. And Father, tonight we ask as we enter into this council meeting, Lord, that you would give those who we have chosen to be our leaders before us tonight, Lord, give them wisdom, give them courage and strength and discernment to make the decisions that are in the best interests of the citizens of this community, and Father, within your will. And Father, we pray tonight also for those who are out serving and protecting our community through fire, EMS, and police, and all those who serve and work for the city. Lord, I pray that you just protect them and keep them safe. And Father, just help us to have another good day in our community, we pray. Ask your blessings upon this meeting tonight. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we'll have public comments. Anybody want to address council on a subject? I'll start on the right in the front and work back. Is there anybody on the front row that
Yes, sir. My name is Richard Gilbert, and I reside at 538 North Washington. The concern that I have is regarding the possible dog ordinance. May I ask any of the council members, do any of y'all have dogs?
Yeah.
Can I ask what breeds you have?
The Chihuahua.
Okay.
So it's like
Well-
the exact opposite.
Okay, well, I can relate to that. I have a couple of my own. But I've also owned Rottweilers. I've also owned Doberman Pinschers. All of my dogs, my Rottweilers, my Doberman Pinschers, were larger dogs. They could also be considered a dangerous breed. My only thing that I would say to you is simply don't brand the breed. Make the owners responsible for their animals. That's where the problem lies. It's not in the dogs. It never has been. This pit bull issue is nationwide. And it all comes down to responsible ownership. It's not the breed, it's not the dog. If you train your dog, you treat your dog right, and you do things you need to take care of the animal, everybody's safe. That's all I would ask. Just think about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Yoder. Anybody else here?
My name is Tina Gilbert. I reside at 2209 Audrey Lane. I would like to give credit to Officer, I believe his name is Kararsis, yesterday. We had an incident with a teenager. I live in Steve Corddry's mobile home community. We used to not have a connecting street through. They were dead ends. We never had problems. Well, this young kid thought he should play Tokyo Drift down the street yesterday. Then he tried to put his car in hiding, but I led the officers to that. He lied about it. They brought it to our attention, but I think the deal with these kids and driving 60 or 70 mile an hour down a residential area where small children are, it needs to be hit on hard. I see officers all the time parked at HEP, over at Rogers. You know, they're just waiting for that speeder to get the ticket. I understand speeding isn't good anywhere. There's not little kids on that street. I have 3 small grandchildren. A small 3-year-old lives across the street. People walk their dogs. There was no reason for that yesterday. And so I was happy with how he handled it. The kid didn't get a ticket, but I think when something like that happens, especially since he lied to the officer and the car was in the garage and hiding, something more should have been done. But I took it as a settle that the kid won't let it happen again. But then I get on Facebook and I see last night on Lebanon Underground, someone is having problems in their area. I don't know who it is because they didn't post their name. It was just on the Lebanon Underground. And it said that Mr. Moore didn't want to spend money on signs in areas where there was a lot of children. Okay, I'm sure a slow children at play sign isn't more than a couple $100. To me, a child's life is worth more than a couple $100. And I have seen the city spend other money very foolishly. They shouldn't be complaining about a sign to protect our children. So, I mean, they were really good in responding and getting there yesterday, but I think it needs to be hit on because that's not the only one in my area. And I'll be the first to tell you, I see it, I'm on the phone. I won't think twice.
Thank you. Anybody else on the right? Moving across to the left and the back. Anybody? Brian.
All right, good evening. I'm Brian Thompson, Lebanon Regional Economic Development. I think now you guys have seen me about the last 3 or 4 meetings, so glad to be here. One thing that I've heard through the community as I've gotten out and met with folks, I've met with some of you and trying to finish up meeting with you, is that communication has been lacking from Lebanon Ready with the council, the community, other people that have supported it, the county, whatnot. And so one thing I want to do is to start eliminating that. And by doing so, I would like to, if it's the council's wishes and the mayor, to maybe once a month be on discussions and presentations and kind of give you a brief, not a real long one, but a brief update on some of the activities we're doing, some of the things we have going on, just to kind of, keep that dialogue going on. And again, as I met with each and every one of you, are starting to, trying to find out what you think are priorities for the community. So that's something I wanted to bring up to the council tonight and see if that's something we could start doing going forward. So
I think we'd all welcome that, Brian.
and I guess maybe next month we could kind of maybe make it the last meeting of the month. The second meeting can be that time to do that, and I promise I'll keep
I
it
think that'll
short,
work.
sweet, and to the point. Thank you.
Howard?
Good evening. My name's Danny Rhodes. I work for the county, and I'm here to represent the commission tonight. On January the 25th this year, Laclede County Courthouse received damages from city utilities. And this was not caused by an act of God. It wasn't caused by somebody running into a telephone pole. It was because somebody didn't perform some maintenance on the city utility pole there that had a big transformer on it with the 3-phase hunk of wire coming down to the courthouse. One of those wires came off and came loose. It broke something anyway. It damaged the courthouse. You might say that's not much damage, $1,803.74, but that's plenty of damages, and it's not chicken feed to me. On January the 30th, the city got an invoice for the damages, and as of today, 101 days later, haven't heard a word. And I found out that it's been sent to the city's insurance company, and still haven't heard anything. I called our insurance company and tried to get them to pay for it. They said it wasn't our bill. It wasn't their bill, it was the city's bill. So anyway, I just wanted you to be aware that happened. If you have any questions about it, there's no question in my mind, or the people that were there to work and get us back online and get us up and going, that it was a city problem, not a county problem. And I'm not here to criticize or ridicule. I'm just here to let you know that we have presented a bill 3 times and haven't got anything happen. So if there's any questions about this or anything else, the county, I'd be happy to visit with anybody. And with all due respect, you guys have a important job to do, and it's a big deal to me to be able to talk to you and communicate. And I'm just glad that we can work together, and I plan on working together with the city. And thank you for what you do. Thank you.
Well, here we're again. We're back. Mayor said a few weeks ago that we would have this on the agenda. We was waiting for the electric to get off. We're still not on the agenda, and it doesn't look like we're going to get on the agenda for quite a while. So we just have to bring it the one step further, and I want to thank the council, all of you people that was at the council or at the work session. I think you took a lot of thought in everything that you were saying. I appreciate when you say that we should have this taken care of in a timely fashion. I do appreciate that. And I do appreciate that you all look at Route 66, you know what it is and what it's for. But we're going to really have to get it before the council for a vote. If this council right here votes on it, yes or no, then we have a starting point. You're the managers of the city of Lebanon. You know what's best for it. I was talking to some of the motel owners. They pay a motel tourism tax. That tax is between $1.50 and $3 a room per night. That's so that the city will use that tourism tax dollar to help their business. Only makes sense. That's what it was put in place for. Right now, all the tourism tax, I guess, has paid for is the flagpole out there, which is now it's a monument of Lebanon, and it's got Route 66 on it. But they'd like their tourism tax dollars spent on changing it to Route 66. They would like to be part. I know that they've come up with figures after I went to, called Richard Shockley's office, had him send them over to the mayor. Them figures have changed lots of times. From $1,500, now we're sitting at around $50,000, which I don't want to tell you your business, but Youngs can get them from the same place as you get them, just as nice as signs, and we can get them for a fraction of what is being tossed out there. At this time, I'd just kind of like to show you something. And I've heard this from the mayor more than one time, that Mr. Hurd don't like it and doesn't want to do it. So I'd like to ask Mr. Hurd.
Pardon me, Howard, you never heard me say anything like that.
Yeah, yes, I did.
No,
The
you
very,
most certainly did not. But go ahead.
okay. The very first time that you were all excited about it, and you said Mr. Hurd does not like it. So, Mr. Hurd, I would like to ask you, do you feel like you're above this law? Okay. I know that the little people, these people sitting in this room, we're the little people. When it comes to law, the police and the officers out here have the floor. If I miss a stop sign, for instance, let me give you some of the excuses I've heard about this Route 66. Now just put it into the stoplight. You know, I miss a stop sign, officer pulls me over. I guess what we need to say is, I didn't know that sign was for me. It didn't have my name on it. I almost stopped. I haven't made up my mind yet whether I wanted to stop there. I've not been stopping there for the last 16 years, but I'm going to think about it. Laws are made for somebody else, and I'm above that law. Officer, you have to file a lawsuit before you can give me that ticket. See if any one of them excuses would work with an officer, and they shouldn't. When laws are made for a public, it says political subdivision, which you're a political subdivision. Danny Rhodes is a political subdivision. And the counties already did their part on that road. They changed it to Route 66. They recognized the law. Your hotels want their money spent that way. You have money available from the Route 66 Society to pay for all the original signs. I would really like for the council to get together, and let's not make this into a big circus. Let's just get it taken care of. Vote yes or no. Just get it before. Thank you.
Anybody else? Next item in the agenda is discussions and presentations, and we will now hear a brief discussion of the introduction of the budget for fiscal 16.
Yes, good evening. Last week, I passed out to each one of you guys a proposed draft budget for fiscal year 16. On Friday, we uploaded it onto our website, made it available to the public, and so tonight, what I'd like to do is briefly go over the big picture and then lay out a process to actually go through, make the appropriate edits, and then get it ready for adoption sometime in June based on what council would like to see. So if there's a part of the budget that I would ask you to read, it's my submittal letter that does give a general overview of all the activity in there, and that's pages 8 and 9 of the budget. But generally, actually 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So, but generally speaking, new revenues are going to be about $48,161,591. Operational appropriations is $46,279,133. Revenue, so therefore revenue over expenses is $1,882,464. There is an investment in capital purchase of $8,976,590. So that is where, if you look at it, total appropriations is around $55 million, but 8.9 of that is direct capital investment. The revenue we budgeted is flat. We've done that for the last 3 years. We have seen some incremental movement upward. However, we still want to be conservative, and hopefully that's reflected in our fund balances at the end of at any fiscal year. We also put expenses flat, with the exception we do have a pay raise slated for employees, and we can discuss the details of that at our work session. Fund balances are improving. We've had a couple of one-time proceeds, and so they are getting closer to that target of 25% per fund. That is something that I've been working on over the last few years to try to get it to where, instead of our entire budget being at 25%, that each fund sort of stands alone. And so they are improving this year, and hopefully we can build upon that success in 2016. Major revenues, just to give you guys kind of a highlight, major revenues for the city is 76% of our revenue is customer billing, whether that be through the electric fund, water fund, sewer fund, and fiber fund. 76% of our entire revenue is made up by customer billing. Sales tax makes up another 16%, and then all other revenue and taxes equal 8% of our budget. So that just shows you where our budget kind of revenue comes from. Staffing levels will remain similar to FY15. There's one or two number changes, but generally speaking, they will remain same. And capital investment, one of the things that's kind of interesting when you look at that $8.9 million, you go, wow, that's a lot of expenditures. But when you actually break it down by fund, there are not a single fund exceeds $2 million in capital investment. So it's just when you have a lot of funds, they sort of add up. So general fund has about $233,000 in capital investment. Street has 1.9 million in capital investment, which is our largest capital investment. Capital Fund, which generally does parks, fire, and police, has 1.228 million in capital investment. Community development has 495,000. The bulk of that is through our subdivision development, which obviously we have offsetting revenue when it relates to that capital outlay by the subdivision. The biggest one's going to be the development of the infrastructure around the school. Parks, internal services have 190,000, and a lot of that's equipment and IT infrastructure. Airport is 661,000, which is an identified project that will use our entitlement plus our match to go ahead and put in the lighting out at the airport. And downtown has 10,000 that they're going to continue to work with beautification and some limited infrastructure through the downtown board. Parks is 496,000, and that is predominantly investment in Boswell and Ashley this year. Electric is 1.8 million in purchases. A lot of this is based on some of the conversation we've had over the last 6 months in making sure that we are articulating or investing in our infrastructure. So we've put that in there. Obviously, those that will merit some discussion during the work session. Fiber is 159,000. Again, predominantly in our server, our IT server our infrastructure, our server infrastructure, and also fiber line from substation 5 to substation 6 for a loop in the new school. So those are the two big expenditures there. Wastewater is 637,000. Predominantly that is dealing with our system and the I&I, and so a lot of that is just identified segments of our line that need to deal with some of the overflow issues. And then water is 1,087,000. Both water and electric does have a phase-in approach for automating our meter reading system, so that will be yet a point of discussion in the budget work sessions. But that's why both of those numbers are a little on the sizable side, is because that project is back again. So. But these purchases and projects are funds through grant, dedicated taxes, and carryover from operational revenue. So that's when you look at that, that's some of the areas that are funding these capital projects. So one of the things that I want to bring to everyone's attention is the whole list of capital projects starts on page 62. And concludes on page 98. So every project that is going to be presented for the budget is in those page numbers. So you can look through those, and hopefully this is the third year of laying a CIP and budget together. So hopefully you can start seeing where a project started in the CIP, and so the full description of the project. And how it's going to be expensed and what fund and all that is now laid in this budget. So you can kind of hopefully see how it's been sort of on the plan for several years. And then so now it's in the budget. And if it doesn't get funded, if it gets kicked out of the budget, or if we just don't do it, because everything in those pages come back to you for approval. So if we don't do it, then it would just get kicked off into future fiscal year. So it doesn't take the need away. So with that, dates that I have identified for budget review sessions are May 21st, the 26th, June 1st, and June 4th. My thought process is, if we want to start, if it's amenable to everybody's schedule on May 21st, We will start there, and we will have as many budget sessions as you wish. The 26th is, I was thinking that we'd have that potentially before our council meeting. I was trying to line up some things. June 1st is also a Monday, and then June 4th is our already scheduled work session. So I was trying to line up so that we didn't have to have extra meetings on top of the meetings we're already having. So, but that direction I really need from you. If council is agreeable, we'll start with the May 21st and then sort of set the schedule from there.
6 o'clock?
That'd be fine if that's, is that concurrence? So
Everything else is, so that's.
right, no, yeah, I'm trying to get some consistency.
Will we need more time than that?
That's up to you guys. I mean, this is a proud moment for me, just because this is the first year we've gone through, we've had to change this budget and get it to the document that it is. And so this is the first year in my tenure that I'm able to get you a complete document in a timely manner. And I want to thank staff for that. I mean, we've been working hard really since December in putting this document together so that it would be ready for at the 1st of May. And so it's a document that I'm very proud of, and it's up to you guys how much you want to amend it. I mean, we need some time to make those amendments, but I mean, this is really for your guys' complete edit at this point, and I'm turning it over to you for your consideration. So with that, I'll take any questions that you might have, or if there's anything you want me to talk about as it relates to the general public.
Remember, we're going to have as much time as necessary to go over this for as much detail as necessary. Is 521 acceptable for the first meeting?
I'm good.
I had a wedding that I was going to, but I can change that. Just won't go. The 26th, is that council meeting?
It will be a
night?
council meeting, yeah.
So we're just going to discuss it in session or have a session afterwards?
Again, I was going to talk about this on the 21st if that was agreeable to you guys, but I was essentially going to try to do maybe an hour before our council meeting. So I'm just trying to maximize, because when you start looking at dates of the week between planning and zoning, I mean, dates fill up pretty quickly if you eliminate Fridays. So I'm just wanting to, so we don't have to, we can go May 21st, June 1st, or we can go May 21st, June 4th. It really is, these are dates that something was already on the calendar related to you guys meeting, minus the 21st. So I just thought I would put those up for consideration. Those are not the dates that I'm suggesting that we meet all those.
It doesn't really matter to me. I mean, as of today, I can tell you I'm free for all of them. I mean, tomorrow I may change. I'm fine with it, folks. I don't care. Whatever the majority wants to do.
We'll start with on 521, and then you can come in and we'll forward it.
Okay.
Any other questions related to the budget itself? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda deals with board appointments and reappointments, and most of these will be reappointments. Do you have those park board names? Okay, we have 3 park board individuals whose term is ending. The other members of that board have indicated a desire for them to come back. They've indicated a willingness to come back, so I will renominate Rayanne Shoemaker, Rayanne Reed, and Ken Eldridge.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Kearney,
Yes.
Suter,
Yes.
Crabtree.
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Mather,
Yes.
Elmore,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Wheeler.
Yes.
With regard to planning and zoning, there are 2 terms that are ending and one that doesn't want to return, and I have not come up with a replacement for that individual right now, but I would like to renominate Don Allen.
Motion to approve. You're gonna,
Is Mayor.
Dennis?
Yes, okay.
Dennis too.
Yeah,
I thought maybe I was the other one, I didn't know.
Passed over.
Are you renominating Mr. Elmore also?
I am.
Okay.
You can go ahead and do them together, and I'll just abstain off of it, and not worry about it.
Okay, motion to approve for
Second.
both of them.
I thought maybe I wasn't coming back.
He slept, didn't know.
Suter.
Yes.
Crabtree.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Mather.
Yes.
Elmore.
Abstain.
Jordan.
Yes.
Wheeler.
Yes.
Kearney.
With regard to tourism and marketing, we will renominate Bill Wheeler for a 2-year term.
And that should actually say May 2017 instead of May
2017.
Yeah.
Okay.
Motion approved.
Second.
Crabtree.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Mather.
Yes.
Elmore.
Yes.
Jordan.
Yes.
Wheeler.
Abstain.
Kearney. Yes. Suter.
Yes.
And as a new appointment, I'd like to nominate Tommy Files to serve on the Airport Advisory Board. Tommy is a local pilot, well-liked by his fellow pilots, and has been attending these meetings already.
Motion to approve.
Second.
White.
Yes.
Mather.
Yes.
Elmore.
Yes.
Jordan.
Yes.
Wheeler.
Yes.
Kearney. Yes. Suter.
Yes.
Crabtree.
Yes.
And we move to approval of minutes.
Second.
Mather.
Yes.
Elmore.
Yes.
Jordan.
Yes.
Wheeler.
Yes.
Kearney. Yes. Suter.
Yes.
Crabtree.
Yes.
White.
Yes. And warrants. Any questions with regard to specific warrants?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Elmore.
Yes.
Jordan.
Yes.
Wheeler.
Yes.
Kearney. Yes. Suter.
Yes.
Crabtree.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Mather.
Yes.
And the April treasurer's report.
Move it be accepted.
Second.
Jordan.
Yes.
Wheeler.
Yes.
Kearney. Yes. Suter.
Yes.
Crabtree.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Mather.
Yes.
Elmore.
Yes.
Now we move to ordinances, and there being no second readings, we'll move first and second readings, commencing with Council Bill 4088, which is an agreement leasing a T-hanger to Nick Gann.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Wheeler.
Yes.
Kearney. Yes. Suter.
Yes.
Crabtree.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Mather.
Yes.
Elmore.
Yes.
Jordan.
Yes.
Move on to second.
Second.
Kearney. Yes. Suter.
Yes.
Crabtree.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Mather.
Yes.
Elmore.
Yes.
Jordan.
Yes.
Wheeler.
Yes.
Council Bill 4088 is approved and becomes ordinance 5340. Council Bill 4089 deals with the grant application for bulletproof vests. Chief?
Yes, this is a request to submit a grant application with the Department of Justice to assist in purchasing bulletproof vests. The Department of Justice can provide up to 50% of the cost of these vests. We received an award in 2013 in the amount of $2,790. We're looking to purchase 10 vests over the next 2 years, And if this grant application is approved, it could potentially pay up to 50% of that amount.
Any questions? Go.
I've been watching on the news in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. We lost 2 officers down there. They did this weekend. I don't know whether they had bulletproof vests or not, but probably they didn't. I'm guessing that they probably did not. Both of them were killed. Had they had them on, we may have had 2 officers in Hattiesburg alive. Now, that had never occurred in Hattiesburg, Mississippi for many, many years.
31 years.
But it hasn't occurred in Lebanon for many, many years. But it could occur tomorrow. So I think all the protection we can give these officers, we need to give them. That's
Thank
all.
you.
If the 50-50 match doesn't come through, will you reduce the amount or continue, or we'll just take it out of?
I currently have in the CIP program for 5 vests for each year, no matter what.
I just want to make sure
This application would assist in that, in reducing the amount that the city would have to expend if it's awarded. But I would still have a CIP for 5 vests for the next 2 years, each year.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Suter?
Yes.
Crabtree?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Mather?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Wheeler?
Yes.
Move on to second.
Second.
Crabtree?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Mather?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Wheeler?
Yes.
Kearney?
Yes.
Suter?
Yes.
Council Bill 4089
Thank you.
has been approved and becomes ordinance 5341. Council Bill 4090 deals with the purchase of radio communication modules for water meters.
This is a communication module that will go on some meters that we've identified in backyards, maybe in, with privacy fences that have access issues, meters that are located inside buildings. And this will just allow the meter readers to be more efficient and also not have to coordinate with property owners in order to get into the backyard to be able to, or the building to be able to get those readings.
I want to say I really appreciate like the pictures and descriptions, because that really helped. Because sometimes you just say, oh, they're hard to reach, or we have to get a key. But when you see where some of them have to go into and what they have to go into, it's very eye-opening.
Do you have any of these that you're currently using now, or is this all brand new?
This will all be brand new.
So,
Motion to approve.
Second.
White?
Yes.
Mather?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Wheeler?
Yes.
Kearney?
Yes.
Suter?
Yes.
Crabtree?
Yes.
move on the second.
Second.
Mather?
Yes.
Elmore?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Wheeler?
Yes.
Kearney?
Yes.
Suter?
Yes.
Crabtree?
Yes.
White?
Yes. That was scary.
Council Bill 4090 is approved and is now ordinance 5342. That concludes first and second readings. There being no first readings, we move to old business, of which I know of none. Anybody have anything old they want to talk about? And to comments. Chief? Chief? Richard? Lena? Chris Allen?
No, sir.
Chris Hurt?
I had an excellent time at my conference. They were very good sessions. And it is interesting, Mr. Crabtree, to your point, we spent a lot of time talking about the perception of public safety and how it's affecting each and every one of our communities and the ongoing dialogue that's happening at the state, the national, state, and local level. And some of the challenges that city administrators are dealing with as it relates to I think the quote that was best summed up is one of the administrators says, we used to say all the time that won't happen here. Now we're 5 seconds away from it happening here, and you never know how it would happen. So I think it is important to be vigilant and mindful that this is a national dialogue, and we're not immune to some of those things, and we need to make sure that we're doing everything we can just in case something like that would happen here. So with that, it was a very good conference, and always enjoy the opportunity to interact with my colleagues. So that's kind of my report to the meeting. With that, I'll take any questions.
Council. Bill?
No, sir.
Chuck?
Nothing.
Dennis?
Yeah, probably. I hate to end such a good evening on a negative note, but I was expecting an ordinance for an electric rate increase tonight. We will have it in 2 weeks, assured. Okay. That's all I had.
I wanted to commend Fire Chief Schneider on his end of the year report. I thought it was very informative and professionally done, and I'd like to see more reports like that from our other departments. But I know it was a lot of work, and I enjoyed reading it and learning more about what all you do. So.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Nope.
Cleo?
Yes, I'd like to comment what Esther was talking about, the photographs and whatnot and so forth on the electric deal. That is very informative. It really helps a lot to make up your mind about what you want to do on something. I'd like to see more of that done. That's all.
If I didn't speak up tonight in behalf of Route 66, my mom wouldn't let me go home tonight. This has been something that's been near and dear to my family since we've been here in the 50s. And this is something that aids our community. It's something to be proud of. It's something we need to promote, and it's something that we can benefit from. I have seen Route 66 through the Mustang Society. They brought people through Lebanon from Seattle and from Boston on their way to a convention in Oklahoma City. I have seen people rent cars, rent Mustangs, convertible Mustangs, in Chicago after flying here from France and driving from Chicago to LA. I have seen buses parked at the library on days when it had been a snow day and our library was closed, so they didn't have a museum to go visit. This is something that helps Lebanon, helps our community, and detriments to no one, and is something that this organization needs to support wholeheartedly and immediately. There is no reason to delay or to oppose it. Thank you.
Ms. Herman?
First, just thank you for the capital improvement plan and the budget so far ahead of time. And I know that's a lot of staff members out there too, and so thank you guys. Because as he said, it's taken a lot of years to get to this point where we're not seeing it like the night before and being asked to vote on it. So I appreciate that. And just several comments came up tonight about the new school. And while I think the new school is long overdue, I think sometimes when we vote on a bond issue or something like that, we don't realize the ripple effect from it, that the building of the school might, and the staffing and the supplies might come from the school district, but all the other infrastructure comes from the city. And so for some taxpayers, it's going to be a big bite, because you'll not only be paying more to fund the school, but you're also going to be paying more for our streets and all of that, which we need. And don't get me wrong, I'm in favor of the school, but I think sometimes we miss the big, huge picture where it affects a lot more. That's all.
And that brings us to the mayor. I would like to commend everybody that was involved in preparation of this budget. Our finance director, our budget director were closeted in the conference room for 3 weeks, at least, going over line by line of this 290-some page document. The city administrator and every one of his department heads have been in his office going over line by line of the needs in the respective departments. Your staff has done yeoman work getting this budget ready. And I'd like to bring this council up to date on some things that have happened since the study session relating to the Route 66 Elm Street question. A call has gone to the Attorney General's office since that was mentioned at the study session. They said they don't have a position on the matter. They've never been questioned about it before. And, well, essentially they have no position. It is on the agenda for planning and zoning on Thursday night, and nobody wants to denigrate the historic value of Route 66. We have offered to put signs without legislation or long discussion on top of the existing signs that say Elm Street. Our ordinance says that that street can be referred to either as Elm or Route 66. And to me, regardless of the number of dollars involved, there is an objection to replacing the Elm Street signs because it does involve additional expense. But we'll have a recommendation from planning and zoning, and I'm open to a motion to adjourn.
Can I say one more thing before we do, and he'll probably kill me for this, but we have a former employee, Toby. It's good to see you in our audience, and Toby's going through a struggle right now, and if you can remember to pray for him, appreciate it.
Is that building and zoning at 6 o'clock?
7.
Good.
Planning and zoning is at 7. It's at 7. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
They wouldn't dare.